bring both the hybrid and the on-site together as one solid class. Different formats, one class. Along the way, you also welcomed 3 new professors, bringing new voices and perspectives into your experience. But what truly makes your class especially meaningful to me is that we began this journey together. You as law students, and me as the new dean. I remember your 1L orientation. I asked you to look to the right, to look to the left. That's a very familiar moment in legal education, and it is often followed by a warning that not everyone would still make it through the end. That's not what I said. That's not legal. Instead, I asked you to turn to the right and to turn to the left and say, together we will get through this. That moment mattered, and today proves it. Because what carried you through was not individual determination, but community. You supported one another through long nights, difficult cases, a lot of self-doubt, and the competing demands of life outside the classroom. You didn't just endure law school, you did it together. Over these past years, you've come to understand what this journey really requires. You put in the hours, you adapted to challenges, and you pushed forward, even when the path felt uncertain. And now, here you are, stronger, wiser, and ready for whatever comes next. Earning a law degree is never easy, but what makes your story remarkable is not just what you accomplished academically, it's everything you carry alongside it. Among the 50 graduates here today are individuals who have been employees, parents, partners, caregivers, and leaders in your community. Some of you got married, some of you gave birth to children, and many of you worked in demanding jobs while attending classes, studying whenever and wherever you could. I've talked to individuals who said they studied during lunch, in your cars, after putting children to bed, and late into the night. You persevered through exhaustion, uncertainty, and even when the finish line felt so far away. Your class has shown what true commitment looks like. You've demonstrated that earning a law degree is not only an academic achievement, but a real reflection of perseverance, empathy, humanity, and grit. So today, we celebrate not only what you have learned, but who you have become. As you move forward into your legal careers, whether it's public service, private practice, advocacy, or beyond, carry with you that same persistence and sense of community that brought you here. The law is demanding, but it is also deeply human work. The ability to support one another, to listen, and to stand together will serve you just as much as your legal knowledge. You arrive as a class of firsts. You leave as a class defined not only by what you started, but how you showed up for each other along the way. On behalf of the faculty, the staff, the entire Lincoln Law School community, we are so proud to call you graduates. You have earned not just your JD, but our deep respect for every single one of you who witnessed your journey. Congratulations, class of 2026. So, Lincoln honors its valedictorian, that is the student with the highest grade point average. In this class, there are two, because there's a tie. And the salutatorian, the student with the second highest grade point average. And all three of these individuals will be speaking in a few minutes. But we also want to give special recognition to the students who have demonstrated academic excellence by ranking 4th and 5th in class standing. Please come forward when I call your name. For the class of 2026, they are Suma Ji Wen. Matthew Boutros. I love graduation. That's not in my script. The salutatorian, Carolyn Young, will speak next. Salutatorian is an academic title given to the second highest ranking student in the graduating class. Traditionally, they present the salutatory, that is the welcoming address. Carolyn earned a Bachelor of Arts in French with a minor in Foreign Affairs from the University of Virginia. While at Lincoln, she was on the Dean's Honor List and received the highest grades in 2 of her classes. Please help me welcome and congratulate Carolyn.
Reflecting on these last 4 years, what truly stands out to me is the incredible community we have at Lincoln. Among you, I have found my people. People who care about grammar and punctuation and how that might affect the outcome of a contract. People who stop and say, wait, but how does this rule or precedent affect others who are outside of this room and might not have a voice in the matter? And people who believe, even in California, in being on time to events. At Lincoln, I was among my people and never alone.
You got this.
responsibilities, but we got through these 4+ years together. On days I had to miss class, I knew somebody would send me their notes without me even having to ask. On weekends, when there were networking events, I always had friendly faces walking into the room with me, facing the unknown together. When we started to think about internships and job opportunities, we pulled our knowledge and cheered each other on through the application processes. I know I'm not the only one a bit daunted by what comes next, but just as they have been for these past 4+ years, I know the Lincoln family, faculty, students, and alumni will be here to encourage me and all of us. We were not alone at Lincoln as we ran the gauntlet of learning to be lawyers. To the rising classes, I know some of you are here watching this, remember that when times feel tough. Reach out. There's always someone there to commiserate, to listen, to offer advice, or just to sit with you. To the graduating class, remember this too. I know most, if not all of us, are getting ready to take the bar exams in just a few months, and we are together in that journey as well, and whatever comes after it. So, when times feel tough, reach out, because the Lincoln family is always here to help. Thank you.
It is now my great honor to introduce our distinguished commencement speaker, Chief United States District Judge Troy Nunley. Chief Judge Nunley is a native San Franciscan who graduated from Sacred Heart Cathedral Preparatory in 1982, attended St. Mary's College, where he graduated in '86 with a Bachelor of Arts degree in English. After graduating, Judge Nunley went to work for the California State Bar. And while working at the bar, he enrolled in the University of California College of Law, San Francisco, formerly known as UC Hastings, and received his Juris Doctor degree in 1990. Chief Judge Nunley began his legal career as a prosecutor for Alameda County District Attorney's Office, the Sacramento County District Attorney's Office, and the California Department of Justice Office of the Attorney General. He also worked as a solo practitioner, specializing in criminal defense, civil rights, and personal injury. In 2002, Governor Gray Davis appointed Chief Judge Nunley to the Sacramento County Superior Court. President Barack Obama appointed him as a United States District Judge for the Eastern District of California in March of 2013. And in September of 2024, Chief Judge Nunley succeeded Senior District Judge Kimberly Mueller as Chief Judge. Chief Judge Nunley maintains his chambers here in Sacramento, currently serves on the 9th Judicial Circuit Historical Society Advisory Board, the 9th Circuit Fairness Committee, and the Eastern District Judicial Advisory, Planning, and Website Committees. In 2023, the Sacramento County Bar Association selected Chief Nunley as the Judge of the Year. But for me, what is especially meaningful to have Judge Nunley be the commencement speaker is because he knows Lincoln well. He was a professor at Lincoln, teaching business associations and agency from 2006 to recently, just 2024. Please join me in welcoming Chief Judge Troy Nunley.
Where's Sheraton? That was a fantastic speech. Let me say this, I hope you all can appreciate the emotion that she expressed, because, quite frankly, law school is really difficult. It's not like undergraduate school, it's not like high school. The professors are constantly in your ear trying to encourage you and get you across the finish line. But really, the students here, they do the hard work. And you need to understand that this is, like I said, it's not like college, it's very, very difficult. So with that being said, let's give these folks all a round of applause. And I, for one, I think when I first came to work at Lincoln, it was partly because of the type of students that the Smolage family, Merlini, when we first started in school, the type of students that went to Lincoln, they were hardworking. A lot of folks had families. They were working to support those families. And that reminded me a lot of my mother, who raised 4 kids by herself in a housing project. And she went to school and she got a master's degree from USF. And so that really resonated with me. And so the hardest thing I had to do was give up teaching at Lincoln, but I couldn't be chief and work at Lincoln at the same time. In fact, when I leave here today, I gotta leave because I need to be at the airport because I'm flying out for a meeting. And so I just have a few words to say. Okay, more than a few. I know what you guys are thinking. Yeah, I can talk. I can talk a little bit. Okay, a little bit. But I want to thank the leadership, the distinguished faculty, the administration, certainly, the Smolage family, guests, and last but not least, the graduates themselves, because it really is, it truly is an honor for me to be here today speaking to you. And, quite frankly, I know she said, did you say graduate from high school in 1982? I'm only 40. Okay, so okay, but, it wasn't too long ago, okay, maybe it was a while ago, that I was in your position. It was 36 years ago, 1990. I remember sitting there for my graduation. And I imagine that some of the thoughts that are going through your head right now as you embark on this career. I know many of you already have jobs, but I imagine some of you feel uncertainty, fear, hope, anticipation. Some of you may simply be feeling that, finally I'm going to get a better paycheck, okay? Presumably, okay, presumably. Your journey in the legal field is about to start, and based on the current landscape you face, your journey will be unique, challenging, interesting, and I hope transformative. Understand, we're not here necessarily to celebrate your graduation, rather, we're here to celebrate the commencement of your legal career. So today, I also want to issue a message that is peculiar to you, and is also peculiar to the times in which you embarked upon this career. And I see, when I look at Lincoln graduates, what I see is hardworking students, I see diligence, I see intelligence, compassion, honesty, patience, integrity, dignity, and humility. And I'm just referring to all you mothers out there. Okay? But one of the things that you have to do is continue to cultivate and build on these qualities, because I think you'll find that in the end, they will help you navigate some of the issues that you're going to have to deal with as you go through society. The experiences that you faced here at Lincoln certainly should prepare you for the challenges ahead. All of you have shown motivation, intelligence, and perseverance. So don't let fears and any concerns that you have get in the way of your hopes or waylay your preparedness. And of course, I'm a big JC fan, so I'm going to tell you the blueprint. Okay, here's the blueprint. Okay. Work hard. That's number one. Work hard. Whatever job you have, you always work hard. We have a young lady who was in my class years ago, And every day after class, we would talk, and we would talk about her, what she wanted to do with her law career, and where she was going. And everything we talked about, she did those things. And she's sitting right there. So be compassionate and learn how to show grace toward each other, because you never really know what burdens people face. Truly listen to one another, and don't divide yourselves by something singular and arbitrary like politics. You have so much more to your lives than politics. Discuss, talk, debate, but always with a mind towards moving the conversation forward, moving this nation forward, moving the ideas forward, because if you don't do that, then we stagnate. America is undoubtedly a great nation, but in my estimation, America has always been best when we engage in healthy, meaningful debates, and we help each other despite our differences. Respect one another, but don't vilify someone simply because you might disagree with them. The most engaged lawyers tend to approach this journey with curiosity and an open mind. Over the years, as Nadine said earlier, she was reading my biography, I've been a prosecutor. Yes, I've been a prosecutor. It's amazing. Sometimes people come up to me and say, wait a minute, you were in projects when you were a prosecutor? Yes, I was. Okay. And I'll tell you a little bit about that story. I actually wanted to be a public defender. Sorry, all you prosecutors, Ricky and Rob, I'm sorry about that. I'm sorry. But I wanted to be a public defender. And so my mom wanted me to work for the DA's office. She said, no, I think we can change the DA's office to work for the DA's office. And I was thinking, there's no way I'm going to work for the DA's office. But I listened to my mom. And so I said, well, I'll tell you what, I'm going to work for the DA's office for a year. If I like it, I'll stay. Okay, I like it. Okay. And I ended up staying. I also went and I was a private attorney as well. And so I met a lot of people, and a lot of people who were like me, a lot of people that were different. But certainly I met quite a few people as a prosecutor who didn't have the same political party or worked in the same political party. You heard that I was appointed by President Obama, so I'm a Democrat. But I'm going to tell you this, I worked side by side with some very fine Republicans. And we would debate, we would talk about issues, certainly, but at the end of the day, we were friends. Because we understood that the passion that they have towards their issue and the way that they think about it, that's the same passion I have about my issues and what I think about things. But I'm more than that, and they're more than that, so we recognize that. We had an open mind, and we continue to work hard to make this a better community. Now, as I look at you graduates, without a doubt I see a group of young people who are prepared for success. However, be mindful of failure. The differences between success and failures is successful people learn from their failures. I failed several times. I took the bar the first time I didn't pass. But I stand here before you as the Chief United States District Court. So I learned from my failures. Don't take your failures and dwell on your failures. I used to always say, my mom always had this saying, she would, whenever, something, she'd say, and I started saying it too, okay, that's one way not to do it. Okay, so, failure is simply life's way of telling you that you're pushing the envelope, and it will also make you work that much harder to accomplish your goals. Now remember that when Thomas Edison was making the light bulb, Thomas Edison said he hadn't failed 10,000 times, he just found 10,000 ways how not to do it. Now as an assignment, when you go home tonight, or sometime in the coming days, I urge each of you to take out a pen and paper and simply do this. Just write out your hopes and dreams and keep it safe somewhere. I'll tell you this, and I tell people this, and I don't know if they truly believe it, but when I was a kid, that was something my mother always urged us to do. really have any goals. I didn't know what I wanted to do other than run outside and play. I was the youngest of four. I didn't talk a lot. Kind of how I am now. And I really think that then I took what she was telling me she wanted me to be. She wanted me to be a lawyer. She wanted me to be a judge. So I took that and I wrote it down. I haven't. I wrote it down when I was about 2 years old. And I urge you to do the same thing. Then take a look and look back, and not only does it remind you of the person that you once were, it reminds you of the person that you also become. So I urge you to do that. Lincoln Law School graduating class of 2026. I'm going to just talk to you a little bit about some history. Throughout the history of this great country, events, movements, uprisings have transpired to test the bounds of freedom and liberty that are truly the promise of America. The women's suffrage movement, the labor movement, the civil rights movement, abolition, the labor movement, LGBTQ movement, environmental movement, to name a few. Simply put, throughout the history of this country, this nation faces, and I say this all the time, and some people know this is a word about it, they face tension points in this country that require the executive branch, the president, legislators, judges, certainly lawyers, and regular citizens to revisit a document that was created in 1787 that was created to strengthen the ties that bind us, create a more perfect union, provide domestic tranquility, and guarantee liberty. The Constitution of the United States of America ensures or enshrines our collective responsibility to one another. And I, for one, as a citizen, I take pride in the Constitution because that document bridges the differences that we have and brings us together as a united nation. Simply put, if we read the Constitution, I don't think we have a lot of problems if we just read the Constitution. Our civic lives tie us together as a whole, as we, whether through legislative efforts to serve the common good, through military service, or by working together every day to fulfill the promise of e pluribus unum, out of one, many. Graduates, in whatever you do, try to give 100%. Have hope, dream, prepare, because that helps you live, and it helps keep you alive. Your dreams will come to pass if you have hope, courage, and belief in yourself. There is a light at the end of the tunnel. And I really, whenever I speak to law school classes, particularly law school classes, I kind of put a challenge out there, and it's to sort of urge you to be involved. Lawyers are really important to society because you are what we call implementers, right? You go out and you apply the law. You let the public see how attorneys practice law. It's not really us judges, we're kind of referees. I'm kind of like a referee, right? I mean, I sit up a little bit higher than most referees, but I'm a referee, that's what I do. But it's you who implement, and it's you who are the face of the law for the public. So, while you walk down that path towards accomplishing your goals, just remember, do not be afraid to take risks. And I remember I took risks when I first started in the DA's office in Alameda County, and I thought I was a really good attorney. Almost got fired for one night. I don't even tell anybody what I did. But one situation I almost got fired, true story, it involved Tupac Shakur. That's all I'm going to say. But pursuit of justice begins with a commitment. And I'm going to talk to you a little bit about this because I think it's something that we don't focus on enough in the legal profession because, a lot of times we see ourselves in the legal profession as being these lions and we're afraid to sort of admit when we have issues. And I'm not going to spend too much time discussing mental health, your mental health, but I sincerely want to encourage each of you to take care of yourselves. And if you find yourself having any type of issue, seek help. You go to school and I always notice that the relationships that link and students form one another is unlike any other relationships. I'll tell you now, Anna and I were talking earlier, and honey, you still friends with most of the folks in your class, right? Yeah. And I'm going to tell you, it's true. The first person you're going to call on when you start having issues is probably someone here sitting right next to you, sitting behind you. Because those relationships are what carried you through law school. So reach out to a friend. The legal profession at times can be not so nice, okay? And so remember, it can be stressful, so balance your work responsibilities with self-care. Take care of yourself. Keep in mind, the pursuit of justice does begin with a commitment to your own well-being. It begins with a commitment to your own personal growth. So take that first and foremost. In closing, I do want to remind each of you that it's vitally important that you each strive to help this country heal and help this country move forward. Law students have a great responsibility if you take that responsibility on. This nation promises unity, it promises rights under the law, it promises respect among each branch of government, the legislative, the executive, and the judicial. Let your conscience drive you or guide you to live for the betterment of this nation and not just simply for yourself or simply for a few. The American critic, John Mason Brown, once wrote, "No one, I am convinced, can be happy who lives only for themselves. The joy in living comes from immersion in something that we know to be bigger, better, more enduring, and worthier than we are." Congratulations, class of 2026.
Thank you so much, Chief Judge Nunley, for making time to come here. And our next award speaks to the very heart of our school, the Alumnus of the Year. This honor recognizes a graduate who embodies hope, service, and inspiration for our graduating class. This year's recipient, Ann Baum, graduated in 2011 and is now a well-known personal injury attorney based in Sacramento. And I know you all recognize her from her upbeat, memorable commercials. Her high-energy style has made her familiar and unmistakable presence in Sacramento and really across California. What you may not know about her is that she was once denied admission to law school. She did not let that define her path. She refused to let that define her path. She retook the LSAT, and boy, did she come back stronger. She graduated valedictorian and passed the California bar on her first attempt. She started her law firm in the spare bedroom in her home, and now has built a multi-state practice across California, Nevada, and Texas, advocating both on behalf of injury victims and sexual assault survivors. And recently made history as the first AAPI woman-owned law firm featured on an NBA jersey with the Sacramento Kings. And she turned that moment into a purple promise, donating $100,000 to empower women in her community. She is deeply invested in giving back to the community and to Lincoln. She has established 2 scholarships for Lincoln students, one specifically for 4L students for the cost of the bar review and all of those expenses. She also supports Lincoln students by hiring them during their law school studies, after graduation, and she continues to connect prospective clients, students, to Lincoln. She's our #1 recruiter. But today her connection comes full circle, because her nephew, Anthony Vaughn, is among the graduating class. Through her leadership, generosity, she reminds us all of the impact one person can make by lifting others. Please join me in welcoming Ann Fong, the Lincoln Law School.
Nothing is wrong today, guys. Oh my gosh. Thank you, Dean. Thank you, Lincoln Law School. Congratulations, class of 2026. As the Dean said, I'm not really supposed to be here and stand before you and speak. I failed the LSAT so bad. And I don't want to put this in the wrong way. I couldn't apply to any other school but Lincoln. And when I met with Dean Deasy at the time, he said, even Lincoln can't accept you. But you know what he said? He said, young lady, if you really want to become a lawyer, and you really want this bad enough, you're going to take the LSAT again, and you're going to score 25% higher. That's how low my score was, guys, okay? 25% higher to meet the minimum. And I thought that was it. I thought I had to change the trajectory of my life. I cried, and then I was like, you know what, he's right. If I really want this, I'm gonna go out and get it. I'm gonna study my butt off. And that's what I did. And I scored 27% higher, guys, just enough to get it, okay? But I tell you that story because I stand here because of this school, because of Lincoln, because of all the professors. Everybody here, people like me, like I said, my background, where I came from an immigrant family, I was not the smartest, I'm still not the smartest person. I still suck terribly at MEs and multiple choice. But I'll tell you what, I was valedictorian in my class because I was one of the hardest working, okay? And so I want to tell this class, send you guys a message. I passed the bar not because I was smart. I passed the bar because at my 4 years at Lincoln Law School, with the help of all the fine professors, Lincoln taught me grit, resilience. It taught me I could do anything I want to do, and I'm not going to let anyone or anything come in my way. And so the California State Bar, you guys, taking that test, I know that so many of you are, well, let's just take a minute, because I want you guys to celebrate this weekend. First, celebrate this accomplishment, getting your JD, okay? This is a big round of applause for you guys. All the I obviously know personally that this journey has been a difficult journey. And I've sat in your seat. And I'm here to tell you guys, you can and you will pass the California State Bar. What you're going to do is what you've been doing these last 4 years at Lincoln Law School. You're going to work hard. You're going to make sacrifices. You're going to dedicate yourself. And, you know, there's going to be moments during these next 9 weeks. They're going to be like hell, okay? I'm telling you, 4 years of law school is hard, but there's going to be great moments and there's going to be some really bad moments. But you're going to go all in. You're going to give these next 9 weeks everything that you got. Because you didn't come this far just to come this far, okay? You see the state bar, your license on the other side of the fence, your license on the side waiting for you. Celebrate this weekend. Enjoy your family, friends. Come Monday, you hit the floor running, and you see yourself across the other side of the fence as a California state lawyer. Okay, you will pass this bar. Give it all you got, okay? These next 9 weeks. You know, one really big part for me was it's a confidence thing as well. You don't really be cocky, okay? You can't just pass the bar because you're confident, right? You gotta put in the work, okay? So whatever bar prep program you guys are choosing, theme is, bar, whatever it is, do the work, put it in. And I love what Judge Lundley said about mental health. 9 weeks is a long time to be studying 10, 14, 16 hours a day. So make sure you take care of yourself. Make sure you take those breaks, and it's okay to take breaks. Make sure you call on your friends and family when you need it. Just, I can't do this anymore. But one thing that I did, and this is, I feel like not a big deal, but it really is, guys. On those days, okay, so on my multiple choice, you know, you got 200 MBEs, right? One full day of 200 multiple choice. I hated multiple choice. I'm a great writer, but multiple choice, no. I did a full day, right? Full day of testing. I got 70 right out of 200. 70 right. And I was like, there's no darn way I'm going to pass this bar. No darn way. So I went up and I got a poster board and I wrote it, and you can and you will pass the California State Bar. And there's just something about believing in yourself and picking yourself up. You fake it till you make it, okay? There's going to be days you think there's no way I can do 5 more weeks of this. You just, you know, you pick yourself up, you take a break, and you get back up, okay? That's what you're going to do, and I can't wait to congratulate you guys in November and welcome you to our legal community. And just something about that profession, about our profession of being a lawyer. When you get sworn in and you make the oath, just remember, like, the reason why you wanted to become a lawyer. The reason why you went to 4 years of law school and studied for the bar, right? You know, everyone's reason is different, but just at the heart of it, remember, because when you pass the bar and you become a lawyer, don't let that title change you, right? Don't let power, the title, money, anything change you and your reason, like your pursuit of justice and why you decided to become a lawyer. And when you stick true to that, remember, your integrity is everything. When you guys get to that other side of the fence and you become practicing lawyers, just remember that, right? And it is such a big deal. I mean, what, only 1% of the entire population are made up of lawyers, let alone California state bar is like the hardest, right, to get into. So I'm so proud of you guys. Like, you guys understand what you guys are doing today and what it means for future generations. Again, with Lincoln Law School, I tell you guys, it has not only transformed my life, as you heard, like my brother Alex Fong, shout out to Alex, graduated a couple years ago, and actually a few years ago, and then my nephew, Anthony Fong. I mean, Lincoln Law School is small, you guys have changed like a generation of families. Like my parents came here as immigrants with nothing, and with the hope and desire that their kids could have access to a chance of education. And here we are. Here I am 15 years later, my brother, my nephew. And so Lincoln Law School, thank you so much for providing a school, the ability for people who may not have had the highest LSAT scores, who may have second careers and difficult time really, getting into a law school. Like, that's what Lincoln Law School is about. You guys are the best class because you guys have a heart, and that's why Lincoln Law School is the best school. That's why I refer everybody. I tell them, don't go to George, save your money, go to Lincoln, get the same education, only 50 grand, sit at the same bar next to the UC Davis graduates, the McGeorge graduates, okay? But it's only, I have that enthusiasm for this school because I really believe how much it's not just changed my life for the hundreds and thousands of lawyers that Lincoln Law School has produced. And look at all the great lawyers that we have in the community because of Lincoln. So class of 2026, I cannot wait for you guys to email me and tell me that you passed the bar. Congratulations.
It's always hard to follow Anne. She's so energetic, dynamic. The next part of the program is where we talk about the Scholastic Achievement Awards. And those are a special recognition given to students who earn the highest grade in individual law school courses. So please stand and stay standing when I call your name. The recipients for the class of 2026 are Matthew Boudreaux for real property. Sierra Clark, advanced, well done, there were 16. Advanced professional responsibility, agency, business association, civil procedure, community property, contracts, criminal procedure, evidence, family law, intro to legal studies, laws in the judicial system, legal research and writing, real property, remedies, torts, and wills and trusts. Sumanji Min, evidence in taxation. Rachel Lima, constitutional law. Carol Mignon, criminal law and professional responsibility. Congratulations to all of you, outstanding students. And next, you may be seated. Next, we have the Moot Court Awards, which will be presented by Professor Aaron Doran.
On a hot evening in the summer of 2024, 29 of you began your moot court journeys by choice. Yours was the first class of its kind because you each got to decide whether you wanted to take this 6-week, intense, fast-paced, real-world fever dream of an elective. And I'm thrilled to say that all of you rose to the challenge and tried to help the Court of Appeal figure out whether Barry Grissom gave Deputy Eden's consent to search the person and Hotel Room 246. Remember that? I want to take a moment and recognize all 29 of you for your efforts. You should be incredibly proud of yourselves, and I hope the experience you had in moot court serves you well in your careers. But now I want to recognize 7 of you who really excelled in this class. These students were truly competent and talented, but more importantly, they worked incredibly hard, took feedback seriously, and as the kids say, understood the assignment. I want to start with a team that came in hot and didn't stop for anything. This team represented Mr. Grissom with heart, compassion, and their California-style manuals at the ready. Their briefs were cohesive, and their oral arguments were persuasive and smooth. This year's winners for Best Appellant's team are Sean Patton and Deb Stark. This next winning team is going to come for all of you in the real world, so you better watch out. These women understand how to integrate your facts, see applicable laws, and don't even break a sweat doing it. Their briefs were pristine, and their oral arguments had us all convinced the trial court didn't make a single error. Please help me in congratulating this year's Best Respondents team, Ali Amlova and Sierra Klein. One of my favorite awards to give is the award for best brief. I have a special place in my heart for the student whose briefs can withstand my white glove review, where I quadruple check your citations, microscopically assess your argument structure, harshly judge your substantive arguments, and then jump for joy when I see all of these things done well with excellent grammar to boot. The student who checked all of my ridiculous boxes and secured himself a win for best brief is Andre Kalpalek. Next, we have Best Oral Advocate, and this may be one of the toughest awards to get because the winner of this award has to impress not one, not two, but three of our guest judges who happen to be very experienced practitioners who know many a thing about what it takes to be successful at the podium. But once the students started talking and answering questions from her piping hot bench, we all knew that she was a natural. Our Best Oral Advocate for this year is Rachel Leon. And finally, we have a student who made it look like she's been practicing for years. Her appellate brief was as good as any lawyer's I've seen, and she looked like she was practically born in the courtroom. Her enthusiasm for advocacy, and I am excited to say appellate advocacy specifically, was a pleasure to watch. Her excellence in all things moot court earned her the top award of best overall this year. So finally, let's hear it for Carolyn Gunn.
So next is the Trial Advocacy Awards, and those will be presented by Honorable Amy Holiday and Honorable Darren Horst.
So this year, our skilled trial advocates tackled the case of People versus Adolph Weber, a true crime story that rocked the town of Auburn in the early 1900s, and still actually haunts it to this day. For their final exam, it wasn't an issue of guilt or not guilt, it was an issue of standing. And to prepare for your final exam, I enlisted the help of a forensic psychologist that I've worked with for over 30 years, Dr. Eugene Roeder. And he helped write the actual doctor's report that you had to use in your final exam. But he looked at all the materials, looked at the final exam, and he said, you know, Judge Horst, this is a really complicated issue. This is a hard final exam. And you realize you're not teaching Harvard Law School, you're teaching Lincoln Law School, right? So I took my judicial training, took a breath, paused, and I politely smiled, and I said, you know what? They're going to be up there. You guys did this. Congratulations.
We have a tradition every year where we like to give additional awards out during our last class. And we want to recognize those students today, so if you'll please stand when we call your name. Some of these are fun awards, but at the heart of it is true advocates and talented advocates. So it's very fitting that the best trial advocate in denial is Rachel Lima. She's mad right now about having to stand up, I'm sure. The all-around trial advocate award goes to Matthew Boutros. Our most enthusiastic advocate, Brianna Williams. The most insanely talented trial advocate award, John Schaller. The most loved Judge Holiday Award, Ishiana Birch.
Most like Judge Horst or Aaron Meadow?
And the best witness award, Jossie Sprague.
All right, for the end of the year, our best trial advocate award that we're going to give out, we decided to choose the top two strongest teams, one for the prosecution and one for the defense. You got it.
As it turned out, these two teams faced off against each other on the last weekend trials in Department 4 of the historic courthouse in the actual courtroom where Adolph was convicted and sentenced to death.
It's my honor to give out the prosecution team award. This was a team of all-stars. Even at the outset of our semester, we expected that they might be in the running. They worked hard to develop advocacy skills, and we were not disappointed. I'll tell you, one of the team members had such a command of the courtroom that when they were getting set up, and in the old sort of courtroom, I like to open the big windows and make fresh air. During the setup, a bird flew into the courtroom and was flying around in our courtroom. I was a little worried how we were going to deal with this. And this particular team member was able, the bird actually stopped at the council table, it was first. She went over, grabbed the bird, walked out, put it out, and it flew away. I've never seen anything like that. All right, my privilege to award for the best prosecution team, Carolyn Young, Rodrigo Uribe.
All right, the award for our best defense team. This team started out a little bit different, a little bit more of a sleeper. They did well in their practicals, but really did not hit our radar so our pre-trial motions were filed and argued. And then they blew us away with their advocacy at the final exam. And at the end of the semester, well, I knew first before you.
You didn't tell me.
Well, I knew they were dating, but you didn't know. So, turns out actually now that they are married. And expected. Then I greatly present the best team award to Olivia Montalvo from and Anthony Bell.
We have lots of traditions at Lincoln. You heard some last night. This next tradition is all about you, really. The graduating class every year votes for a faculty member who they believe best exemplifies teaching excellence, career inspiration, personal dedication to the success of the students and to the school. And I will ask the SBA President, Judy Matheny, to present the 2026 Professor of the Year Award.
Good morning, everyone. And thank you for being here this morning. To the graduating class, we've come so far. Let's keep pushing forward and take that last quiz as step forward. And then finish this race as Professor Wu told us just recently. Congratulations to each and every one of you. Now, it has been said that the art of teaching is the art of assisting discovery. Our professors at Lincoln Law School of Sacramento aren't just teaching the material. They light a spark of curiosity in all of us. I know they did on my part. I came into law school thinking I was going in one direction, and I managed to change my course. Now I'm just confused. It's unbelievable. Today's recipient, though, did her best not to confuse me. She's a remarkable woman who taught us real property law. Students experienced her genuine interactions, where her skill and organization turned overwhelming moments into manageable tasks. Her quick replies on our communication platform, Populi, meant no one was left in the dark about their questions. She always managed to ease our worries with her timely support. I can't forget to mention the incredible sacrifice during one fall semester. She graded and returned our papers before Christmas, which really took a weight off of our shoulders. And she might joke around and tell you she did that so she can go on vacation. But our class, that was love. Christmas 2024 felt much lighter. So thank you. Her patience was notable, and she took the time to explain things in
your hard work, your dedication, and most importantly, your support for one another. You are a remarkable class of caring and compassionate people. As Lincoln Law School alumni, you are now part of a 57-year tradition of service. Andy Smolich of Sport District Maryland created Lincoln Law School because they recognize the need for high-quality legal education in Sacramento. Their dedication and the continued dedication of the Smolich family and the Lincoln Law School faculty and administration to this mission has given thousands of students, including myself as a Lincoln Law School graduate, the opportunity to become lawyers and to serve their communities. It is my hope that you carry on this dedication of service. Right now, it can be difficult to figure out how to make a difference when we face so many challenges. Andy and Marilyn's knowledge are examples of how focusing on supporting your community can make positive changes in so many people's lives as they've heard us today. As lawyers, you will have the opportunity to be of service to your clients in your community. You will have the ability to make a difference in the lives of people that you serve. Take the opportunities you have been given and share them with others, and know that you will always have my support and encouragement. You're wonderful.
Lincoln really is a family, right? It's a community, it's a family. The next part of the program is the valedictorian speech. And as I mentioned earlier, we have 2 valedictorians. That is the highest ranking student in the graduating class. Historically, they come at the end of the program because they're the farewell to their classmates. I will tell you, I don't know what it's like to be a valedictorian, never was one. But to have 2, and I will tell you, they tied with both having a 4.0 GPA. The 2 valedictorians, Sierra Clark and Rachel Lima. I will ask them to come up to the stage together. They wanted to be together. And I will just, once they arrive, tell you a little bit about each one of them. Sierra earned a Bachelor's of Science in Criminal Justice and a minor in Sociology from California State University, Sacramento. At Lincoln, she was on the Dean's Honor List, and as you heard a few minutes ago, she received the highest grade in 16 of her courses. Rachel earned a Bachelor's of Art in Philosophy at the University of California, Los Angeles. And at Lincoln, she was on the Dean's Honor List and received the highest grade in constitutional law. So, you know they are smart. And I also know that you know that they are wonderful human beings. They are dedicated and they truly, truly care. No problem. Okay. Please join me in welcoming and congratulating the valedictorian friends, Sierra Clark and Rachel Lemus.
Good morning. 4 years ago, this is exactly where we wanted to be. In my mind, what a journey it has been. I entered law school seeking a challenge, and I can now confidently say I had no idea what I was in for. We started in first year with Judge Bowman telling us, don't put wheels on grandma and call her a wagon. We had no idea what he was talking about. But we quickly learned that that meant don't add facts to fact patterns that aren't actually there. And our legal knowledge just grew from there. Now, we are here. We made it through 4 years of law school. When I look back at all we've accomplished, I'm in awe of our adaptability, resilience, and perseverance. Through these hurdles, we experienced growth, both as students and as people. Every day, we showed up, put in the effort, and accomplished even more than we believed we could. We made it through the last 4 years, in no small part because of the support that we all received. I'd like to thank everyone who's here today for your contributions to our success. Our family, our friends, our amazing professors, our mentors, Lincoln's amazing administrative team, the alumni, and all my fellow classmates. Each of you has inspired me, and I am filled with gratitude to have shared this experience with you. As we approach the next journey on our path, I reflect on how far we've come. I've had many conversations over the last few weeks regarding graduation, and the one resounding theme I hear is gratitude. Gratitude for choosing Lincoln, a lot of gratitude for being done with exams. Gratitude for finishing law schools, but mostly gratitude for being welcomed into this Lincoln community. You've heard that from every single speaker that was up here, and now we can all attest to that. I'm overwhelmed with appreciation to have experienced the opportunities that Lincoln afforded to us. Law school was no easy feat, but we did it. All of the stress, sacrifices, and effort led us to this moment. Now, we have the opportunity to take all we've learned and go out into the world to do good. I can't wait to see how we all continue on in our careers and relish in the successes I'm sure we will accomplish. I'd like to end with some insight that I learned while in law school that I will take with me for the rest of my life. When you doubt your capabilities, remember that you can accomplish more than you think. Don't give up, and find joy where you can. Congratulations to my wonderful classmates, the class of 2024.
When I attended the graduation of the class of 2025, I didn't expect it to hit me the way it did. I assumed I'd feel proud, inspired, and maybe even a little bit relieved on their behalf. And I felt all of that, but I also felt something I hadn't anticipated. As I watched them cross this stage, something in me grieved. And at the time, that made no sense. I had spent the better part of 3 years wanting nothing more than to make it through and be done. And I don't think I was alone in that. Law school is heavy in a way that's hard to describe, not because it's uniquely miserable, but because it's relentlessly present. It just doesn't leave you alone. It follows you into weekends and holidays and birthdays and the quiet moments that you would hope to keep for yourself. It's the constant lowering pressure of feeling behind in the sense that no matter how much you do, there's always more. And yet, sitting there, I realized something I've never quite let myself acknowledge. I've become deeply emotionally attached to this process. Not just to the professors I admire or the subjects I love learning, but to the difficulty itself, to this specific kind of struggle. While preparing for finals in the spring of 3L, running on too little sleep and too much caffeine, I came across a line that completely rearranged my view of law school. It read, "What a blessing it is to be tired in the pursuit of a challenge of your own choosing." And I've thought about that line almost every day since. If hardship is inevitable, then the only real question is which hardships to endure. And in my experience, we suffer far more in the difficulties we don't choose for ourselves than in those that we do. Law school gives us, for 3 or 4 years, the opportunity to struggle on purpose. And somewhere along the way of repeatedly doing a difficult thing, we begin to recognize we don't have to do this, we get to. It's so easy to forget that. When the bar feels like a wall we can't see over, when we're tired and wonder why we signed up for anything. I think it's helpful to remember that someone out there worked just as hard as you did to be exactly where you are and didn't make it. And your normal day is someone else's dream. So when it gets heavy, as it has before and surely will again, I hope you can remember the blessing in the wait. That exhaustion, when it comes from work you choose and care about, isn't a burden. It's evidence that you're here, you've made it far, and you're doing the thing you once only hoped you'd get to do. When I watched the class of 2025 cross this stage, I cried and didn't know why. I think I do now. I wasn't mourning something ending. I was recognizing, maybe for the first time, how much this process has meant to me. And I hope today my fellow classmates feel the same. Thank you.
We need to have next year Kleenex boxes around. All right, so now the part of the ceremony that you have all been waiting for, the presentation of candidates and degree. Professor Larson, the recipient of the Professor of the Year Award, will be presenting the diplomas. All right. Some of our graduates are graduating with distinguished honors and are wearing yellow cords. Those honors are summa cum laude, GPA between a 3.5 and a 4.0, magna cum laude, GPA between 3.3 and 3.49, and cum laude, GPA between 3.0 and 3.29. I will start with the first row. If you could please stand and line up. Okay. Allison Amalgobo, Kuma Laude, sorry. Alexis Elizabeth Dominique Bobo. Cecilia Boston. Matthew Boutros, summa cum laude. Ishiana Birch, magna cum laude. Princeton Oral Charles. Julie Jacob Soto. Amy Nelson Child, cum laude. Sierra Clark, summa cum laude. Terry Austin Cooper, cum laude. Kenneth G. Quillar. Maria Saldana Margot De Leon. Brenda Delgado, cum laude. Marina Monserrat Santos Fuentes. Aaron Bernard Duncan Jr. Wendy Renee Forwood, cum laude. Sean Christopher Fountain. Christina Rivas Franco, magna cum laude. Danielle G. Gomez, summa cum laude. Carolina Gonzalez Arguello.
Like 20 years ago, not anymore.
Brandon Goodman, cum laude.
Yeah, the Jordan
Sumanji Win summa cum laude.
That's actually really good geography. You have to do that stuff with science pretty well.
Ryan Latchman.
Sometimes it's better when you don't tell them.
Rachel Marie Lima summa cum laude. Amber Diolanda Lopez. Sherry Mitchell cum laude. Olivia Montalvo Fong. Judy Makuni. Andre Roman Papalaka cum laude. Anthony Lee Hong. Jennifer Payton Selinger. Dominic Michael Solomani summa cum laude. Jordan Nichols and Erin Joshua Moore summa cum laude. Michelle Renee Schultz. Oksana Shumyak. Davina Singh. Anthony J. Smallage, magna cum laude. Jazzy Lynn Spray cum
That's it. Okay. Yeah, just turn it off. No, yeah, I'm just going over the guy. I got 2 more jobs today. So. I do a house and then I have to put it on the ground.
Maybe I'll see you at a wedding one day. Yeah.
All right.